His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held a telephone call today with the Emir of the State of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. During the call, both sides reviewed the fraternal relations between the two brotherly countries and the ways to enhance and strengthen them in various fields, stressing the determination to move forward in developing aspects of existing bilateral cooperation in a manner that meets the aspirations of the two brotherly people. During the call, His Majesty referred to the visit of the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Affairs of the State of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim Al Thani, and His Majesty's meeting with His Excellency, in addition to the fruitful talks that took place between His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa that reviewed the ways of bolstering joint work between the two brotherly countries in all the fields and increase the cooperation for the benefit and the development of the two countries and the two brotherly people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to His Majesty the Sultan of Oman, Haytham bin Tariq, on the occasion of Oman's National Day. His Majesty King Hamad expressed his best wishes of abundant health and happiness to His Majesty the Sultan and further progress and prosperity for the people of Oman. His Majesty the King praised the deep Bahraini-Omani relations and their progress. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to the Moroccan monarch, His Majesty King Mohammed VI, on the occasion of Morocco Independence Day. His Majesty the King wished the Moroccan monarch good health and happiness, and the Moroccan people further progress and prosperity under his wise leadership. His Majesty King Hamad praised the depth of the good relations that bind the two kingdoms and peoples, wishing them further development and prosperity in a way that serves the common interests of both countries. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received the Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim Al Thani, who is on a visit to the kingdom. Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman conveyed to His Majesty the King the greetings of the Emir of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, and the Emir's wishes for further progress and prosperity to Bahrain and its people. His Majesty King Hamad requested Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman to convey his greetings to His Highness the Emir of Qatar and the wishes for further prosperity and development to the Qatari people. The two sides discussed the Bahrain-Qatari relations and the ways to develop them in all the fields. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, on Thursday performed flight training simulations alongside Captain Salah As-Saidi as part of His Majesty's habit of taking advantage of the weekend to engage in useful activities. His Majesty the King is a flying hobbyist, and His Majesty encourages other flying enthusiasts. His Majesty also expressed pride in Bahraini military and civilian pilots as the kingdom witnesses their continued progress in the field of aviation.
Bahrain 1, clear taxi, holding point runway 17 and hold.
Go to the north and then to 20 and green.
Flatness, جاهزين?
Okay, it's stable.
No.
Okay, first rev and press it. That's it. What's the decline?
0.
When you are happy, you can engage it. Maybe we are 15 miles there.
15 miles.
So we are into the cloud now.
2 to go.
2 to go.
0-2.
020.
On.
That's it.
I disconnect.
400. It's already tracked.
300.
Okay, there. Speed of brake.
Technical.
It's good, yeah.
حصة مفيدة.
His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to His Majesty the Sultan of Oman, Haytham bin Tariq Al Saeed, on the occasion of Oman's National Day. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister sent a similar cable to Oman's Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to the Moroccan monarch, His Majesty Monarch Mohammed VI, on the occasion of Morocco's Independence Day. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister sent two similar cables to the Crown Prince of Morocco, His Royal Highness Prince Moulay Hassan bin Mohammed, and the Prime Minister of Morocco, Aziz Akhnouch. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa met with the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, at Qutbiyya Palace. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman and the Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister reviewed the Bahrain-Qatari partnership and the ways to further bolster cooperation. His Royal Highness expressed his best wishes of progress and prosperity for Qatar. His Royal Highness Prince Salman emphasized the importance of further strengthening the bilateral relations to meet the joint aspirations and to benefit both countries and their peoples. The developments on the Bahrain-Qatar Causeway project were also reviewed, during which both parties directed the concerned authorities to complete the necessary plans to initiate the implementation of the project. During the meeting, regional and international developments of common interest were discussed, including developments in the Gaza Strip, where the importance of stopping the war, the protection of civilian lives, the release of hostages and detainees, and the necessity of opening secure humanitarian corridors to deliver aid and assistance into the Gaza Strip in line with the international humanitarian laws was emphasized. A lunch banquet was then held in honor of Qatar's Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs visiting Bahrain. For his part, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman expressed his gratitude for His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad supporting and furthering the Bahrain-Qatar relations. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Minister of Interior General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, the Minister of Finance and National Economy Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, and a number of senior officials also attended the meeting. The International Basketball Federation 3x3 World Tour Manama Masters 2023 kicked off at Bahrain Bay courts yesterday evening. The two-day event is held under the patronage and in the presence of the first Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad welcomed the participating delegations, wishing them a happy stay in the kingdom. His Highness expressed delight over the kingdom's hosting of the global sporting event, organized by FIBA in Bahrain for the first time in cooperation with GSA, Bahrain Olympic Committee, and Bahrain Basketball Association. His Highness Sheikh Khalid indicated that FIBA's holding the 3x3 World Tour in Bahrain reflects the kingdom's distinguished reputation as an ideal host for mega sporting events. He extended thanks to the organizing committee for the tremendous efforts it had exerted to prepare well for the global event and put in place all its success requirements. Delegated by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa participated in the virtual closing session of the second Voice of the Global South Summit, hosted by the Republic of India via visual communication technology at the level of heads of state and government under the slogan Together for One Future. Participation in the closing session of the second Voice of the Global South Summit in response to an invitation received by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister from the Prime Minister of the Republic of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, who praised in the invitation letter the active participation of the Kingdom of Bahrain and the interventions and proposals it provided that enriched the work of the first summit hosted by the Republic of India. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriate Affairs at the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, Dr. Ayman al-Safadi, arrived in the Kingdom of Bahrain today to participate in the 19th edition of the Manama Dialogue Conference. Upon arrival at the Bahrain International Airport, the Deputy Prime Minister was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid al-Zayani, the Ambassador of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan to the Kingdom of Bahrain, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Rami Saleh Warqat al-Adwan, and a number of officials in the ministry. The Minister of Municipal Affairs and Agriculture, Engineer Wa'el bin Nasser Al Mubarak, paid a visit to Al Istiqlal Walkway in Block 934 in the Southern Governorate as part of a series of visits to the third phase projects for developing roads, sanitation and municipalities, which were approved by the Cabinet. The Minister affirmed during the tour continuing the march of work and achievements in implementing vital projects in a manner that enhances the growing development pace and the comprehensive renaissance witnessed by the Kingdom. Al-Mubarak stressed the implementation, provision and development of public facilities in all the governorates of the Kingdom and upgrading them, pointing to the Ministry's interest in developing and maintaining the walkways to serve as a social and recreational outlet for the citizens and residents. He also noted that the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Agriculture has recently intensified its work of planting trees on Al Istiqlal Walkway in accordance with the Ministry's strategy to increase plantings in parks, streets and public facilities. The Kingdom of Bahrain today hosts the 19th edition of the Regional Security Forum Manama Dialogue, which has become one of the most important annual political and intellectual events that the Kingdom has succeeded in organizing, and through which it has been able to attract a group of decision makers and learn about their visions and ideas regarding the security challenges that could face the countries of the region. Since its inception in 2004, the Manama Dialogue has been at the forefront of the global diplomatic and security scene and has been described as a unique forum for government ministers, policymakers, members of the expert community and think tanks who all meet at the Manama Dialogue table to discuss and analyze the most prominent political, defense and security issues and developments in the Middle East and the world, and to exchange visions and ideas between senior officials and international experts regarding common challenges. This forum in its 19th edition reflects the pioneering role of the Kingdom of Bahrain in promoting dialogue and mutual understanding between nations, cultures and civilizations, and ensuring the settlement of conflicts and tensions through diplomatic means, which contributes to consolidating regional and global peace and security. This year's forum coincides with many new developments taking place in the region, which requires senior strategists and officials in the Middle East and the world to study and research them and develop the most appropriate means of cooperation to confront them. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has expressed its support for the UN Security Council Resolution 2712 calling for urgent and extended humanitarian pauses and corridors through the Gaza Strip. The resolution supports provision of essential goods and services, protection of humanitarian sites, and the release of hostages. It also rejects the forced displacement of civilians, calls on all the parties to adhere to international humanitarian law obligations. In a statement, the Foreign Affairs Ministry called for fast-tracking the implementation of Resolution 2712 to end the violence and alleviate the dire humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip. The ministry said that it views the UN Security Council resolution on Gaza as a crucial step towards reaching a permanent ceasefire, ensuring protection for civilians, reconstructing the Gaza Strip, and establishing an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, in accordance with the two-state solution and the international legitimacy resolutions, which would contribute to consolidating security, stability, and comprehensive peace process across the region. The ministry commended the prominent role played by the permanent mission of the United Arab Emirates to the Security Council in coordination with the permanent mission of Malta to the United Nations in formulating this resolution, which the Council had adopted for the first time since the beginning of the war in the Gaza Strip. The Chief Executive Officer of the Economic Development Board, Khalid Ibrahim Hmidan, highlighted Bahrain's role as a leading center for financial services and technology as part of his participation in the 8th edition of the 2023 Singapore FinTech Festival. The festival witnesses the participation of 500 exhibitors from 134 countries. It included a pavilion for the Kingdom of Bahrain and held many discussions, sessions, and strategic business meetings. Participants in the festival were informed of the competitive advantages that the Kingdom enjoys for investors in the financial services and technology sector. The Bahrain Pavilion hosted representatives of the financial services sector in the Kingdom, including the Economic Development Board, the Central Bank of Bahrain, the Bahrain FinTech Bay, and private financial services sector institutions, who communicated with global experts in the field of financial technology to discuss issues related to the development of financial services and highlight the opportunities it provides. The Bahrain Institute for Political Development organized a lecture entitled Human Rights Gains and Civilizational Achievements, held within the National Awareness Program. During the lecture, Ambassador Dr. Yusuf Abdel Karim Buchiri reviewed the stages of historical development of the human rights system in the kingdom, which was represented by His Majesty the King, assuming the reins of government and inaugurating the comprehensive development process based on democracy and respect for human rights and approving the National Action Charter. Ambassador Buchiri also discussed the historical development of the human rights system in accordance with the international standards, represented by the accession and ratification of a number of conventions. The lecturer touched on the impact of human rights developments on the process of modernizing the legal system in the kingdom, noting that comprehensive reviews and updates have been made to the system of national laws to ensure their compatibility with human rights standards in the international agreements to which the kingdom has acceded. The conference accompanying the Cityscape Bahrain 2023 exhibition, which was held under the slogan Sustainability and Digital Transformation, concluded its work at the Bahrain International Exhibition Center with a wide attendance. Over 2 days, the participants discussed the future of use of technology to serve the real estate sector in the light of the acceleration of technological development. It presented the latest digital transformation practices and the ways to enable them sustainably in the real estate field and other fields that contribute to achieving sustainable development goals. During the conference, a group of real estate sector leaders and sustainability experts on a local and global scale stressed the importance of adopting these ideas and initiatives that continuously seek to implement new policies and solutions that would develop the real estate sector, enhance its flexibility, and facilitate the investment process in it. The Kingdom of Bahrain is witnessing rain and thunder in varying amounts and intensity over various governorates and regions. The weather condition, which began on Thursday, coincided with intense preparation by various concerned authorities in the Kingdom of Bahrain to deal with any report by citizens and residents regarding the repercussions of rainfall. The Meteorological Department at the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications said the kingdom is likely to be affected by thunderstorms today, accompanied by strong gusts which will lead to rising sea waves and rising dust in some areas.